At the heart of the Aeon Vector is the Vector-Reality Framework, a foundational physics model that treats reality not as a continuous fabric, but as a discrete, selectable lattice. This means the craft doesn't bend, fold, or tunnel through spacetime. Instead, it selects a new coordinate in the reality lattice and reassigns its existence there. This approach fundamentally changes how we think about propulsion, making distance irrelevant, time optional, and motion obsolete. The Aeon Vector is the first vessel to operate on these principles, opening doors to new forms of travel and exploration. Vector-Reality Propulsion, or VRP, is the core innovation of the Aeon Vector. Unlike traditional propulsion systems that rely on thrust or field distortion, VRP enables the craft to move by changing its identity gradient across realities. The foundational equation is $vec v real equals nabla psi phi existence where $psi represents the reality coordinate, phi existence is the craft's identity state, and nabla psi is the gradient across the reality lattice. This means the Aeon Vector moves by selecting a new identity gradient, not by pushing against matter or spacetime. A unique feature of the Aeon Vector is its reliance on the pilot's tri-waveform signature as the anchor of identity. Without this binding, the craft would decohere, fragment across nodes, and lose continuity. The pilot's signature ensures that both the craft and pilot remain coherent and stable during transitions, making reality selection possible and safe. This binding constant is what allows the Aeon Vector to maintain its existence across manifold transitions. The top-down plate of the Aeon Vector reveals its pure lenticular symmetry. The Lattice-Phase Hull forms the segmented metallic skin, modulating curvature ripple frequencies. The curvature ripple band defines the perimeter resonance field, while the navigation core and quantum sensor suite are centrally located. This view confirms the craft's perfect symmetry and field-based stability, independent of aerodynamic principles. The mathematical overlay $psi top equals int 0 2 pi r theta d theta dollar maps radial curvature across the hull. The bottom view exposes the Aeon Vector's propulsion and energy well architecture. The omega prime energy well sits at the core, where dimensional tension is converted into usable power. Vector coordinate chambers regulate manifold node selection, while continuum stabilizers maintain phase integrity during vector jumps. The equation $E omega equals nabla c pi psi illustrates energy derived from reality gradient differentials. This plate reveals how the craft draws power from existence itself, not from fuel or reaction mass. The side profile of the Aeon Vector displays its structural layering and containment systems. The metaglass layer provides optical shielding and phase transparency, while the phononic lattice layer dampens dimensional vibration. The anchor node cage locks the craft to its selected manifold coordinate, and the flux conduit channels omega prime output through the hull. The equation $V TMV equals F vector expresses velocity as node selection frequency. This view demonstrates the hull's function as a harmonic resonator, not a pressure vessel. The cutaway plate reveals the internal omega prime engine, composed of 3 continuum spheres, blue for A, gold for B, and violet for C. Beneath the engine is the pilot's signature interface, which anchors consciousness to the craft's identity state. Dimensional field coils and the quantum energy well feed the spheres. Mathematical annotations include $vec v real equals nabla psi phi existence and psi ux psi cox psi colme. This is the heart of the Aeon Vector, where identity, energy, and manifold geometry converge. The exploded viewplate isolates each subsystem for inspection. The lattice-phase hull is detached from internal modules, while the reality vector matrix and manifold anchor nodes form the computational spine. The omega, prime energy well, and compression core are centrally located, with flux conduits and continuum stabilizers completing the lower array. The equation $F vector equals psit plus delta t describes the temporal progression of manifold selection. This plate provides a full anatomy of the craft, showing how existence is reassigned through synchronized manifold nodes. Vector-Reality Propulsion, VRP, is the Aeon Vector's defining technology. Instead of using thrust, the craft alters its position within the Ψ-lattice by changing its identity gradient. The equation $VCV, real, equals nabla, psi, phi, existence. Defines motion as a shift in identity, not momentum. If spacetime is quantized at the Planck scale, transitions between nodes could occur without traversing intermediate space, enabling instantaneous relocation and zero inertia. This is theoretically achievable through quantum computational control of manifold selection. The omega prime energy well is the Aeon Vector's power source, extracting energy from dimensional tension between adjacent manifold nodes. The relationship $E, omega, propto, delta, psi, manifold means energy is proportional to the difference in manifold potential. This allows the craft to draw power from the structure of reality itself, providing effectively unlimited operational endurance without fuel or reaction mass. Navigation is handled by the reality vector matrix, which computes manifold coordinates using quantum entanglement and tensor mapping. The equation $F vector equals psi t plus delta t defines the craft's next coordinate as a function of time and manifold state. This system acts as a quantum GPS, enabling deterministic relocation across physical and non-physical domains, including alternate dimensions. The Aeon Vector's Lattice-Phase Hull is made of metamaterials that can alter their metric signature. By shifting its electromagnetic phase to match background radiation, the hull cancels radar, sonar, and LiDAR returns through phase inversion. It can also absorb or redirect thermal emissions and enter partial phase states, making the craft invisible to conventional sensors. In effect, the craft ceases to exist in the observer's coordinate frame. In aerospace, the Aeon Vector eliminates propulsion limits and fuel dependency. It enables instantaneous interplanetary travel and redefines flight as coordinate manipulation. The craft operates with zero drag, no sonic boom, and no thermal signature from compression heating. Its global reach is unmatched, with no flight path, radar track, or intercept window. This represents a paradigm shift in aerospace mobility and strategic dominance. The Aeon Vector's VRP system allows it to operate underwater without cavitation or hydrodynamic drag. It can enter water without a splash and function at any depth without a pressure hull. In subterranean environments, the craft can phase through rock strata for geological mapping or resource exploration, bypassing the need for drilling or excavation. This opens up new possibilities for oceanic, lake, and underground missions. With the ability to select non-local psi nodes, the Aeon Vector can theoretically transition into adjacent manifolds or alternate dimensional frames. This capability could revolutionize exploration, communication, and computation, providing access to parallel universes or higher-order realities. The craft's navigation and identity-binding systems ensure continuity and safety during these transitions. The Aeon Vector's stealth is not just camouflage, it's existential invisibility. By shifting its manifold signature, the craft becomes undetectable to any sensor operating in the original coordinate frame. Combined with pilot signature binding, the craft maintains continuity of consciousness while remaining invisible to external observation. This makes it ideal for covert operations and strategic deterrence. The Aeon Vector program is structured as a DARPA-level, SAP-restricted black project. Its technical foundation is rooted in the hypothesis that spacetime is discretized into a Ψ-lattice of manifold nodes. Movement is achieved by altering the craft's identity gradient, not by generating thrust. The omega prime system provides unlimited endurance, and the reality vector matrix enables deterministic relocation. The platform is designed for aerospace, maritime, subterranean, and extra-dimensional domains, with unmatched stealth and survivability. The Aeon Vector is engineered for multiple operational domains. In aerospace, it achieves zero drag and instantaneous relocation. In maritime environments, it operates at any depth without pressure hulls. Subterranean missions are possible through phase-shifted coordinate reassignment, allowing the craft to pass through solid matter. The platform can also access extra-dimensional or non-standard manifolds, making it a versatile tool for exploration and strategic missions. The Lattice-Phase Hull uses phase-adaptive metamaterials capable of electromagnetic phase cancellation, thermal signature suppression, and acoustic nullification. The craft can also achieve partial phase displacement, making it non-existent in the observer's frame. By altering its identity gradient, it can exit the detection domain entirely, becoming invisible, non-reflective, and non-interceptable. The Aeon Vector offers mobility superiority with no propulsion signature, no heat plume, and no predictable trajectory. It is immune to kinetic intercepts, directed energy weapons, and environmental stresses. The platform requires no fuel, runway, or carrier, and has minimal maintenance needs. Its mission profiles include interdimensional reconnaissance, rapid global insertion, deep ocean mapping, and strategic deterrence. Phase 1 of the Aeon Vector program focuses on validating the VRP mathematical framework, developing simulation environments, and identifying material candidates for the Lattice-Phase Hull. Objectives include quantum gravity modeling, manifold node simulation, and phase-adaptive hull behavior studies. All work is conducted under SAP-isolated conditions, with strict compartmentalization and quantum-encrypted data handling. The Phase 2 prototype poster is designed as an 8K engineering master layout. At the center is the prototype core module, PCM1, featuring the tri-continuum chamber, quantum energy well, dimensional field coils, pilot signature interface, manifold anchor node ring, and flux conduit spine. Each quadrant of the poster details a major subsystem: lattice-phase hull materials, reality vector matrix, omega, prime energy well, and prototype flight configuration. Every section is annotated with equations and technical callouts. Phase 2 initiates fabrication of prototype subsystem assemblies, PSAs, for the Aeon Vector. The lattice-phase hull uses phase-adaptive metamaterials, while the reality vector matrix is validated through tensor field simulation. The omega, prime energy well, is modeled for dimensional tension extraction, and the prototype core module is assembled with tri-continuum chambers. Each subsystem is tracked for fabrication status and risk assessment, ensuring readiness for integration and activation. Subsystems are integrated in a precise sequence. PCM1 connects to the flux conduit spine, followed by omega, prime energy well integration, reality vector matrix installation, lattice phase hull encapsulation, sensor suite calibration, and pilot interface binding. Deliverables include subsystem assemblies, readiness reviews, stability reports, and continuity assessments. Successful integration leads to Phase 3, prototype activation and non-local relocation trials. The Aeon Vector represents a new frontier in physics and engineering, a craft that doesn't move through space, but moves space itself. Its mathematics and theoretical framework suggest a future where travel, exploration, and stealth are achieved through reality engineering, not propulsion. As the program advances, it promises to revolutionize aerospace, marine, subterranean, and interdimensional operations, setting the stage for a new era of mobility and strategic capability.